Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone in Facebook land. How are you today? Today, we are doing a very special video because it's Kentucky Derby Day. I hope lots of you are in Facebook land and on YouTube watching. I know we can't be at the races today, but I've got my big hat, so we're going to have some fun. The very first thing we are going to do is we are going to make blooming tea. We are going to make a cocktail. We are going to make a cocktail called Kentucky Derby Bloomin' Bourbon Cocktail. Oh yes, I said it. You heard it. Let's get to steeping. Friends, the first thing I'm going to do is make a blooming tea for you. We sell 15 flavors of blooming tea on our website, and my kettle just came up to a boil. So this first one I am going to do is peach flavored. I'm looking at the camera angle, and I hope all of you can still see my countertop besides my super big hat. Who's wearing a big hat today? Will you smash that like button? Friends, the first thing I'm going to do is steep up a blooming tea. So like I said, we sell blooming teas, and this is what the blooming tea starts as. It starts as a pod. So it's actually hand-sewn green and white tea leaves around an edible flower. The first thing I'm going to do is put it right into my blooming glass teapot. We do sell these glass teapots, but it does take a few minutes in order to steep properly. So we're going to do that first while we chit-chat and other people join us. So like I said, friends, we are making a Kentucky Derby Bloomin' Bourbon Cocktail. That guy is first, and I picked the flavor peach. We are going to do peach and bourbon because obviously they are great together. Hey there, Maria. Thanks about the comment for the hat. Do you own a big hat like this? I love hats. Let's be honest. I love big hats. Okay, so the hat came first. Honestly, the hat came first, then the dress, then the video. That's how this is all working out. But we are welcoming our 14,000th Facebook fan today. So thank you everyone. I'm so excited to be celebrating that milestone today. On May 2nd, 2020, 14,000 people have liked us over on the Sub Rosa Tea Facebook page. Now, some of you are going to be watching this video over on our YouTube channel, and some of you won't even see it until it's on our website. For those of you that don't know, I'm the owner of subrosatea.com. My name is Joy. I don't always wear a big hat, but I am today because we are having some fun. My name is Joy. Everything that I talk about, typically during a live sale, is over on our website at subrosatea.com. And I have put that in the comments of the video. So you can check out the tea and tea accessories over at subrosatea.com. Friends, if you are here for the very first time, welcome to everyone. I want you to feel like this is a very safe space here inside our tea community. Normally what I do during a video like this is I talk primarily about our tea and our tea accessories. But today I'm having a little bit of fun. So I hope that you will have fun too. I love that you all are here. But I will tell you, friends, today I am going to be cooking with dairy. I'm going to be cooking with meat, and I'm going to be making cocktails with alcohol. So if you find any of those things not your lifestyle choices, I hope that you can still participate in today's video, but I'm warning you now, I don't really consider these adult topics of any sort, but if they are triggers for you, now is a good time to leave the video. We have done dozens and dozens of videos that are very true to topic, true to brand, talking only about the tea. Our tea and all the tea that we sell is organically grown, and we use only all natural ingredients. Typically what I sell, mostly what I sell is loose leaf tea. I'm the owner of Sub Rosa Tea. I am not a professional chef or a cook or anything like that, but I feel like I know my way around my own kitchen well enough to welcome you in and not just talk about tea today. We're going to talk about some other fun things as well while I'm wearing the hat. We'll see how long it lasts. Like I said, we normally sell loose leaf tea, mostly what we sell is loose leaf tea. But last year we expanded our brand into blooming tea as well. So this blooming tea is already rocking and rolling. This is what a blooming tea looks like. It is made with green and white tea leaves, and I selected the peach flavor because peach is fabulous with bourbon. And we are gonna have some fun with Kentucky bourbon because we're doing all things Kentucky Derby during this video. So like I said, I'm not a professional chef, but I have prepared 2 cocktails and 3 recipes. So we're both going to be using our tea in the cocktails and recipes and another small businesses items. We will be featuring items from Rosebud's Ranch and Garden. We are also pinning her website as a comment. So promise, go over and like her on Facebook. If you're watching this on Facebook, check out her website. She has a huge repertoire of products. They are organic and all natural, and I know that you will be impressed with them as much as I am. So this week I'm doing 3 unusual style videos, but we're gonna have lots of fun. I'm doing Kentucky Derby today. On Tuesday I will be doing a Cinco de Mayo Taco Tuesday themed event because we have lots and lots of teas that also coordinate really well with all those flavor profiles. I'll be talking about more of her products then. And on next Saturday, I will be doing a very special Mother's Day tea party that will be happening on Saturday. And just so you know, it's going to be happening in the morning. I'm going to do a morning tea. Normally on Saturdays, I've been here live with you in the afternoon. And that's mostly because we have so many West Coast people. I don't want y'all to have to get up too early in the morning just to hang out with us. So thanks everyone for coming. Thank you, Christine. Thanks, Katie. I love this hat too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So again, we're having fun with the Kentucky Derby. Tell me, friends, who else has got a big hat? I can't be the only one, right? Where are my Kentucky girls at? Once again, friends, I'm starting out with our Kentucky Derby Bloomin' Bourbon cocktail. That guy's first. So this is a 4-cup glass teapot that I'm steeping up the blooming tea in. Typically what I tell you, what you've heard me say, is it needs 4 cups of water in order for it to steep properly. But today I only poured in 3 cups of water for a reason. Actually, lots of reasons. So I'm going to use this teapot to make the rest of the blend right here inside this particular teapot. And I want it to be extra concentrated because I'm adding extra flavors to layer it to make the cocktail, to make the Bloomin' Bourbon cocktail with. So anyway, hey Maria, will you be selling sale items during this video? So let's see, well, tea is for sale. I don't know if that's your question, but yes, tea is for sale. And then we've got, so I've got the blooming tea. I will be demonstrating some of our tea accessories here today. And of course, a lot of good food items. But yes, the tea is for sale on our website at subrosatea.com. At this point, friends, I would absolutely love it if you smash that like button on the video. Don't hesitate to comment and ask questions and share if you hear or see anything that interests you. Your friends might also. I'd love it if you share the video. Friends, if you are watching this on a share, I just want you to know, if you are watching this on a watch party, if you are watching this video on a watch party, only your host will be able to see your comments. If you've got a question for me at Sub Rosa Tea, I do have a tablet in front of me where I can see the comments most of the time. Most of the time I see the comments as they come in live, but every once in a while a few get buried and I'm not really sure why that is. So I'm not avoiding you. I do have a staffer on a laptop also trying to answer questions as if she sees them before I do or if I don't see them at all. So I'm not avoiding you. Also, I just wanted you to know that if you are trying to ask me a question, you can't really watch it on a watch party. Only your host will see those comments. You'll have to click through to the Sub Rosa Tea page and find the video over at the Sub Rosa Tea business page, and that's where I'm going to see them live. But if I see a question, I will try to say it out loud in case other people don't see the question. And of course, if you're watching it on YouTube or our website, you won't be able to see the question either. They just don't translate well. Who loves this hat? I am obsessed with it. This hat, it looks like one piece, right? But the guy right over here, this big blooming blossom flower thing, it's actually a fascinator. It's actually a hat on top of a hat. It has a little hairpin attached to it. So that's how I've attached the fascinator to the main hat that I'm wearing. But I can also just wear the fascinator, just the bloom that you see over here. Oh, I just think it's great. So anyway, so we've got our blooming tea working, and I'm gonna set this aside for just a minute. In addition to the bloom, to make the bloomin' bourbon cocktail, I'm going to add some cold steeped fuzzy navel. So again, this was a peach blooming tea that I started with. I'm going to add cold steeped fuzzy navel. Now friends, our fuzzy navel tea is currently a limited edition item. Right now I know the camera is a little bit further away than I typically put it, so even if I hold it up, I'm not sure that you can see it, but it is our fuzzy navel, and it is for sale on our Top Shelf Club page. I do invite you to join our Facebook group, which is called Top Shelf, and you will find limited edition items available on our Top Shelf Club webpage. Hey, Regina and Julie. I know, great hat, right? Gotta love it. Hi, Tyson. Happy Saturday. Happy Kentucky Derby Day, friends. Thanks for coming. So we've got our peach blooming tea steeping hot. That's going to take about 5 to 6 minutes. We've got our fuzzy navel cold steeped, which, friends, this tea is a white tea, which makes it high in antioxidants, low in caffeine. And I cold steeped it, so it was extra concentrated with a whole tablespoon of tea in only 1 cup, 8 ounces of cold water. This is nice and chilled, and that's why it's this nice dark color, because I use technically 2 servings of tea for cold steeping here. And again, it's because I'm gonna layer the flavors in with the cocktail. So fuzzy navel is a white tea, low in caffeine. Blooming tea, friends, is also green and white tea leaves that are hand sewn. Did you see the beginning that it starts as a pod? So this is also low in caffeine, but friends, bourbon, I don't know. I don't think there's any caffeine in bourbon, right? How do you feel after you drink the bourbon? We're gonna mix them all together as soon as this blooming tea is done. So I'm gonna set this aside. Maria says, how do you cold steep? Oh, friends, let me tell you. Let me bring you our jug. So you can cold steep our tea leaves in anything, but we do sell this mist Ice Tea Jug. This is for iced tea. So the tea leaves, Maria, go straight in with cold water. Stick it in the fridge. Yeah, hot tea. It's going to take a few minutes to steep it hot, but it'll take closer to 15 to 20 minutes to steep it cold. But there's so many advantages. Yes, it does take longer, but when you're cold steeping, you're not bruising the tea leaves. So you can use those tea leaves over and over again so they don't get bitter, and it will not oversteep in cold water. Technically, I'm making a cold cocktail. So I like that one of the teas is cold because it's going to help reduce the temperature, because I did steep the bloom in hot water. So great idea. And I will talk more about this jug in just a little bit. Right now, I'm cold steeping in this jug our oolong tea. That's for another cocktail I'm going to be making at the end of the video. So again, we do sell this jug. It's called our Mist Ice Tea Jug. It makes 6 cups. It fits in the door of your fridge. I only have so much room right here. Friends, I am, again, not a professional chef. I am the owner of a tea company, so I am also working solo, so the camera is at eye level, and it's not going to move around. This is not TV, so I won't be able to show you absolutely everything. Some things are off camera, but I'm going to try to bring up to camera as much as I possibly can so you can have a little bit of fun. And I just wanted to say now that we are posting links to the base recipe that I am using for the recipes that I'll be making here with you, but it's a base, okay? I am elaborating on them. I'm changing a few things. Do you do that too? Do you follow recipes right to the letter? I'm embellishing a little bit because I'm having fun, and also because, quite frankly, we're in social isolation. Not everything is at the grocery store. I also didn't want to make a special trip to the store just to make these items. I wanted to use items that I already had. For those of you that don't know, I do live a keto lifestyle, so I don't partake in sugar. So there's no sugar in our tea that we sell. No calories, no carbs, no sugar, no guilt. But some of these recipes do have alternate items, and I'll just make that clear for you, okay? But again, as I go around, we will be posting the link to the recipes that if you would like the base. And again, friends, I didn't really write these recipes. I didn't really create them. I'm not that person. I'm not a food blogger. I'm not really a recipe creator. I do like to have fun in the kitchen. And you know what? I like to eat. Can you smash that heart button for me? Who else likes to have some fun in the kitchen? Who else likes to eat? I do. This girl right here. So anyway, next up, I'm going to try to bring this up to a boil, and hopefully I will not lose the Wi-Fi connection as I bring my kettle up to a second boil. Katie Howell says, what teas are good for headaches and migraines? Good question, Katie. The rooibos tea. Rooibos tea is known to be good for headaches and migraines, and a lot of people have reported to me that it has helped them. Just so you know, we sell rooibos by itself, and we sell 8 flavors of rooibos. It's known as the red tea. It's caffeine-free, so you can have as much of it as you need to throughout your day. Let's see, do I still have water in here? Ooh, I don't. Hold on, friends. Hold on. So back to the rooibos. First of all, you'll find rooibos on our caffeine-free page. It is caffeine-free. It's known as the red tea. It's also really good for inflammation. So who really knows why you get a headache? Is it because your blood vessels are constricted, or is it because they're inflamed and enlarged? It probably depends. Depends on the type of headache or migraine that you get. But a lot of our customers are telling us that the rooibos has helped them. So we sell the rooibos tea plain. We also sell it flavored. We have 8 different flavors of red rooibos tea in our catalog. So great question. So the next up, friends, I'm going to be making for you my Kentucky Derby chocolate ginger brownies. I love chocolate ginger brownies. Do you? Do you like your brownies with a little bit kick in the background? Nothing too spicy, but not too flat. I have found that, sorry about that, I have found that plain chocolate can be a little flat. So what I'm doing here is opening a bag of our chocolate ginger brownie. This is a black tea. The tea itself, again, has no sugar, friends, no calories and no carbs. And that's because we're not actually eating the tea leaves. Instead, we're gonna make tea with it. So I'm going to make brownies from scratch, not a mix. But I'm going to add steeped tea to the mix. And that's going to help give even more flavor to the chocolate. Like I was saying, brownies, I think anything with chocolate can be very flat. So years and years ago, I realized that adding coffee or instant coffee or espresso, which is extra steeped, extra brewed coffee to chocolate, to brownies, chocolate cake, cupcakes, that was a great way to add depth of flavor. It just makes it more chocolatey. Well, as most of you have heard, I personally don't consume coffee. I'm a tea girl. And this particular flavor of tea specifically came from me playing with brownies, me playing with my brownie mix, me realizing that adding ginger and cinnamon to the brownie mix was a great way to add depth of flavor, and I love it. So as a girl who's on keto, I typically do not consume consume sugar. So I had given up baked goods and sweets for quite some time, and that's how this particular tea came to be. I just didn't need the extra. So again, this is chocolate ginger brownie. It is a black tea. And one of the flavor notes specifically in this tea recipe is bourbon. It's one of those things. So I could have called this tea chocolate ginger bourbon, but instead I called it chocolate ginger brownie because it is literally a cup of tea that tastes rich, thick, fudgy, like brownies. And of course there's no real alcohol in it. It's just the way the notes play on your tongue as you are sipping it. So this does not take long to steep, but I am steeping our chocolate ginger brownie tea in just a little tiny bit of water. All I really need is extra concentrated tea. I only really need 1 tablespoon of the tea, and I put this in our stump stackable teapot. It has a stainless steel lid, and it does have an infuser basket. Okay, so the tea leaves are in the infuser basket, and I poured in just a little bit of water, but I did put in a whole tablespoon of tea, which is technically 2 servings, because I only want 1 tablespoon of liquid to go into my brownies, but I want it extra concentrated. In my opinion, the chocolate ginger brownie is just one of those fabulously great tasting teas. Julie says, will you be getting Fuzzy Navel back in stock? Girl, we've got plenty. We just don't have an 8 ounce right now, but we do have other sizes available of the Fuzzy Navel, and I need to hear from you. Fuzzy Navel is a limited edition flavor. So for those of you who are in our Top Shelf Club, let me know if you've had it. Let me know. Have you tried it hot? Have you tried it cold? Do you like it? Most of the time, what I do with our limited edition flavors is I will test them out. I will introduce them to our audience and see what you think. If you like them, we often then bring them into our full permanent lineup. And that actually happened with our Purple Rain tea. Purple tea, friends, has anthocyanins, which are anti-cancer health benefits, but it's kind of rare. Not too many people have ever had purple tea before, so I really didn't know if all of you would enjoy it as much as I do. So we added purple tea to lemon and elderberry for your immune system. We call it Purple Rain, and it is definitely one that everyone seems to love. So we introduced that to our permanent lineup thanks to all of you. Again, I'm going to steep this just a little bit longer, but I wanted to show you all the other ingredients for our chocolate ginger bourbon brownies. So first up, this particular brownie recipe needs 10 tablespoons of melted butter. So I've got my 10 tablespoons here. They've been out all morning, kind of like room temperature, and I'm going to put these into the microwave for just a little bit while we chat about the other ingredients. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so in addition to the butter that we are also, hold on friends, I gotta add the chocolate. There's 2 ounces of dark chocolate that I need to add to the butter. We'll see how that goes. So again, I'm making brownies. I'm making keto brownies. I'm making Kentucky Derby chocolate ginger brownies for today. So we've got a whole ½ cup of almond flour. I've got a ¼ cup of our cocoa powder. I do have a ½ cup of keto sugar. Lots of keto choices nowadays. I have a whole ½ teaspoon of baking powder in addition to cinnamon. I love cinnamon and ginger together. And Rosebud's Ranch, friends, has a salon cinnamon that is fabulous. For those of you that are brand new to Rosebud's Ranch, they are a company that is also located in Ohio. That's where I'm from. By the way, I'm not actually from Kentucky, even though I'm pretending for the day. They are from Ohio. They have lots and lots of fabulous items. They have dip mixes, flavored salts, seasonings, spices, flowers, herbs, things like that. So many great products. And they also do honey sweetened fruit butters. Great for cooking, dips, and all the good things. So I love her Salon Cinnamon. It is absolutely favorite. It's just so good. So in addition to the addition of our chocolate ginger brownie tea to my homemade brownies, I'm also going to add a whole half teaspoon of cinnamon to the basic recipe. And again, I think we will put a link to the recipe, World's Best Keto Brownies. We just put that there just to make sure that everyone, if you want to play along at home, right? If you want to bake the brownies. In addition to all of that, with the butter and the 2 ounces of dark chocolate, I also have 3 eggs at room temperature. So I'm going to say that this is almost ready. Almost. So we are melting the chocolate in with the butter. And again, friends, I know the camera's not going to move with me. I do not have a cameraman here today. Oh, it is melted. That's awesome. So the butter was at room temperature, and then I had bought sugar-free dark chocolate, so very keto friendly, and I actually put that into my nut and spice grinder. So now I'm going to add the other wet ingredients. So I have the half teaspoon of vanilla is going into the wet. And then I'm going to pour out, so again, the tea leaves, friends, are still here in my teapot, and I'm going to pour out a tablespoon of tea. This is the chocolate ginger brownie tea. I'm going to pour that right in to all the wet ingredients and mix. And then I'm going to dump in all of the dry. I'm actually going to add the eggs last because the chocolate and butter are hot, and I don't want to cook the eggs before I'm cooking the eggs. Thanks, Renee. I appreciate it. Girlfriend, do you have a big old hat? Do you do big hats? I love hats. I have so many hats. The hat definitely came first for today's video. In my closet looking at, well, I've got a big hat. Let's do a video, right? Let's have some fun. Friends, for those of you who are brand new to Sub Rosa Tea, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm not always wearing a big hat, but I am today. And I will say that, you know what? I used to travel for a living, and I can't do that right now. We don't really know when I'm going to be able to get back to it, but I feel like this is something I can do. I can still have fun with all of my friends virtually. I know some of you are alone, and I think that's probably one of the worst things, really, about the social isolation can be the loneliness. I was watching a interview with an actress who understood that if she stayed where she lived, she would be alone, and she would be alone for an indeterminate amount of time. And so she made that choice, and it sounded like she had an option, but it was just, it's different. It's different for some of us. And I know some of you are homeschooling kids, 3 to 4 kids at a time, and whew, that's going to be hard too, right? Never getting a break, never having some alone time, some mommy time. I totally understand. So if we can be together for just an hour on a Saturday like this, having some fun. Oh my gosh, friends, I wish you could smell what's going on here. I can already smell the fabulous cinnamon notes from that Salon cinnamon that I used from Rosebud's Ranch. I'm so happy. Oh, I'm just so happy. Let me get this out of the way. So I can rock and roll. So we have got our brownie mix all ready to go. This particular brownie mix, friends, is going to bake for just 20 minutes. It's going into the oven at 350 degrees. Thankfully, I already had that preheated. Anybody else baking? Are you baking more now? I have more time now because, as you may have heard, I normally travel like 40 weekends a year. So baking is not a luxury that I partake in. But I will tell you that we have, Sub Rosa Tea has a friend who just opened up a keto bakery. She does regular baked goods as well, but she really specializes in keto stuff, which I love, which is another reason why I have not been baking at all, because she makes these fabulous keto products. She's in Michigan, and she just opened a bakery. She's been in business for years out of her house, but she just got keys to a bakery during, you know, the social isolation, this period of time, which is so amazing to me, so different, so unusual. So anyway, normally I don't bake because I get my keto goods from her, but in addition to the bakery, she has decided to offer coffee and tea service. So she currently has 9 of our teas in her keto bakery in Michigan. I'm just so proud. I'm just so happy for her. Isn't that great? So as I was saying, we started our blooming tea first because I'm making a blooming bourbon cocktail. I'm making it with peach, bourbon, peach, blooming tea. This, I say it could go a few more minutes. I think I'm going to take the lid off. This is blooming tea. By the way, if you've never seen this, isn't it just amazing? It's so gorgeous. So it's come to a full bloom now. Let me smell. Oh my goodness. Oh, does that smell good? Holy cow. So this is our peach. So the peach, it's got the green leaves on the bottom. It's this beautiful yellow flower, and then 2 stems that come up to these beautiful, I think, pinkish raspberry flowers at the very top. Isn't that fun? It's dinner and a show on its own, right? Who needs anything more than this? Oh, I just think it's great. I gotta take a sip. As you know, I'm gonna make cocktails in a little bit, but let's see. I don't want to oversteep it. I gotta make sure it's good. Oh gosh, you guys, it's so great. I mean, no sugar. It's naturally sweet, though. It's going to make a great cocktail. I'm going to take the lid off so it doesn't get too hot. All right, so we've got our chocolate ginger brownies in the oven baking. I remembered to set the timer. Who's proud of me? Okay, let's see what is next. How about we make some mint julep marinated chicken? How great is that? Yay, right? Who knows what a mint julep is? I'm from Ohio. I've never been to the Kentucky Derby. I'm just having fun here. So anyway, oh, Christine, did I not say? I'm so sorry, Christine. Homestead Kitchen is the name of the bakery, and it's in Westland, Michigan. As soon as she is able to, she does plan on doing some shipping, but she's literally just opened up for service. This is like her 2nd week open. Like I said, she's been in business for years. She does custom wedding cakes, but on the keto side of things, she does keto cookies and brownies, cupcakes, cakes, all the good things, right? All the good things. She even sells her buttercream frosting is amazing, and she sells that just by herself too. Anyway, yes, I am. Yes, I am, Katie. So Katie just asked if I'm going to make a mint julep for the Kentucky Derby. Of course I am. Yes, of course I am. But next up, we are going to go with the chicken, and because chicken needs to marinate, okay? So we're going to make a marinade for our chicken. Now, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but when I marinate chicken, I always marinate it in a plastic bag with a zip top, and it's just kind of my go-to. And so when I'm in the kitchen by myself, so I need to have a way to hold the plastic bag open for me, and I'm just going to make the marinade right here. I think the original recipe for mint julep bourbon chicken that we're putting a link to in the comments, that recipe says, like, put it in a bowl and whisk it. I'm like, why? Why would you need to whisk it? There's nothing that really needs to dissolve. So I'm just going to put it all into the bag. Easy cleanup. It goes really fast. That's the way I've always done it. I have been making bourbon chicken. I want to say like my whole adult life, like 25 years, I've made bourbon chicken. I love bourbon chicken. I love the marinade. I love the flavor of the bourbon. But this one in particular is special for Kentucky Derby. It's the mint julep. So we've got all kinds of good stuff here. So the very first thing in our mint julep bourbon chicken marinade is bourbon, of course. We've got our bourbon. I suppose any will do, but in our grocery store we had one that was for sale that specifically said Kentucky bourbon. So I think that's the way to go, right? Where is Jennifer? She's my Kentucky girl. She normally steers me in the right. So anyway, we've got our half cup of bourbon going right in. And like I said, I am keto, so we have got a sugar substitute. But before I was keto, always use brown sugar in with your bourbon chicken. It really is the way to go. I would not bother with white sugar. If I didn't have white sugar in the house, I would go buy brown sugar for sure for this recipe. But I am making a keto version, and the keto monk fruit sweetener actually comes in golden, so that's what I'm doing. And again, friends, I am adding allspice thanks to Rosebuds Ranch and Garden. You're going to see that on the recipe as well. And we've got a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. This is one of my favorite balsamics. I am not a spokesperson for bourbon or balsamic vinegar, but I've got a 1/4 cup going in. And I think the vinegar really does kind of just balance out the bourbon, the sugar. I think it's one of those great recipes. It's sweet and salty and spicy and savory. It's got acidic notes. It just balances itself out, and I think it really tenderizes the chicken. So I've got my marinade going here, but we still have one more ingredient to go. So I'm going to move the bourbon out of the way, and I will be, oh, we need more bourbon later because we're making a fun drink. Give me just a second, friends. All right. Oh yeah, we need a lemon. And some mint. So up next on the chicken, we need a couple things here. So we need both the zest and the juice of a lemon for one item. And then another one of the drinks that I'm making, we need sliced. Who has a planer? Do you guys actually, do you cook? Do you do things in the kitchen? Do you know what a planer is? This is one of those funny things that back in the day when I started cooking a million years ago, you could not find this in a kitchen store. You had to go to the wood section of like Ace Hardware 20 years ago to get a planer. It's a wood tool. Isn't that funny? So I'm going to zest the lemon first. And this is a great way to, again, add tons and tons of flavor. So if you have never done this before, the planer is, the zester is only taking off the first tiny little bit of the peel, and it's not going too down. You don't want to go too far down into the pith, into the white part. The pith can be very sour and bitter, so you don't want to do that. So the zest is going into the marinade, and then this particular recipe, we are also going to cut this in half and juice it. Again, if you are just not accustomed to cooking, I do not like one-hit wonders. I like things that have multiple functions. So I don't have a fruit juicer. I don't do it. I got a fork, and I've got plenty of grip strength. In this particular case, I don't even care if the seeds go in because it's marinade. Also, I will tell you that this particular recipe that I'm using, it's specifically asked or is specifically called for chicken breast, which I think fabulous, but I have always my whole life made bourbon chicken with thighs. Always. I think they are so tender, and in general, chicken thighs grill up fabulously. They are just never going to get dried out. So everything is in and the chicken's gonna go in. So I always grill the chicken. It's going right into the bag. It's gonna sit in the fridge to marinate at least a half an hour while we're chit-chatting and making more cocktails and having fun things. But I will say that boneless, skinless chicken thighs, they always come with one part that's very meaty and one part that is thinner. So when I put these on the grill, I will 100% be putting the thicker pieces on first, and then I will put the thinner pieces on. So I've cut them in half. So I don't know if you could see, but I've got big pieces and I have little pieces. And that's all gonna go in, right in the bag, into the fridge. And I'll be right back, friends. For those of you that don't know, it is really funny to talk to people in the food industry. How food is prepped for television, how food is prepped for photography and food blogging. I think it's very interesting. In general, you cannot actually eat anything that you ever see in photographs or on the Food Network. I think you've probably noticed they don't exactly wash their hands in the middle of cooking things like this. They always have lots and lots of versions. So like I said, I'm just the owner of a tea company, just having fun, just trying to serve my audience as best I can in this time of uncertainty. And even though I say all the time, I just plain old cannot be everything to everyone, but the one thing I can actually be is myself. That is something that's very true. And even though right now I cannot do what I normally do for a living, this is something I can do. And introducing you to some of my business owner friends, especially my women small owned business owner friends, is something I feel I can do. So I appreciate you sticking with me. Again, I did not practice this. I'm just having tons of fun here. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot the mint leaves in the marinade. You know, one of those things. I like how nobody's following along. No one called me out on that, but that's okay. So anyway, it called for 4 leaves of mint. Like I said, I've been making bourbon chicken forever, but this in particular is definitely one that is terribly fun for Kentucky Derby Day. So I'm going to put that mint right in. Luckily, my kitchen's pretty small, so everything is super close to each other. We are really going to eat this chicken, though. This is not actually faked at all. There is no way I was about to waste any food just for a video while we are in the middle of social isolation. Okay, so tell me the truth. Anybody have a big hat? I think Renee said she bought one on a cruise once. So that's kind of fun, right? Super, super fun. So I've got my lemon sliced for a drink that we're going to make in just a few minutes, and I'm going to set that aside so I have some room to groove here. Lemon zester. First of all, I probably should have asked, does anyone actually drink mint tea? Does anyone actually drink mint juleps? Here I am playing with mint and mint juleps. I probably should have asked my audience to see if they're even interested in the same things I am. We have a cucumber mojito tea. It's got lime and peppermint. It's a green tea. It's low in caffeine. That one's really great. We sell just peppermint by itself, which is definitely good for tummy troubles. Just this past week, I did a video with our chocolate mint, which is like a Girl Scout Thin Mint cookie. It's one of my favorites to do a latte with. Steep it hot, add steamed milk or Kahlua. It's just tons of fun. We made a chocotini in the kitchen just a little bit ago. But in addition to the peach and the fuzzy navel, we're going to be adding bourbon to make our Kentucky Derby Bloomin' Bourbon cocktail. So up next though, it would not really be Kentucky Derby Day without a hot brown. Who knows what a hot brown is? Hey there, Andrea. So honestly, Christine, who just asked about our alcohol, the cocktail recipe, so I started doing that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I've got plenty of time on my hands, right? So yes, I am starting to add some of our cocktail recipes on our website. I don't know if I'll keep them there forever because we don't sell alcohol. I don't want you to think you need to make a cocktail with your tea. It's good on its own, but we're having fun, right? We're having fun in the kitchen, so why not? So last video, we did a Lake Erie Crusher, which was the blue confetti, and the purple rain that I just talked about. So those two together with we made a great Lake Erie Crusher cocktail. So you have to look that up. And then what was the other one? Oh, we made fruit tea. If those of you that don't know, we just added to our website a fruit tea combo pack. And that's with the jug that I demonstrated a few minutes ago. So we did fruit tea, again, turned it into a cocktail. It's pretty fun. Yes, okay, so at least Karen knows what a hot brown is. So a hot brown is typically a sandwich. But again, I happen to be keto, so I'm not going to make anything with bread. But I'm going to turn all the good stuff into a dip. It's kind of my way to survive. You know, as on keto, not eating sandwiches and stuff. So again, the recipe that we are pinning here for our Kentucky Derby hot brown dip called for a small tomato, seeded and chopped. But at my grocery store, we didn't have any tomatoes that looked good. So instead, I bought a package of these super cute grape tomatoes. And of course, I'm going to slice these in half. If you have never done this before, I have to tell you my trick because I think it's fabulous. So you take 2 deli lids. These are lids, you know, from stuff you get at the deli. So put it down, fill it up with your tomatoes, your grapes, your cherry tomatoes, the little guys, you know. So you just fill that up with the lid, and the other lid, friends, you're going to press down with your hand and keep your fingers out of the way. And then I'm going to take my very large slicing knife, and I'm going to slice horizontally, and it will cut all of the cherry tomatoes in half instantaneously. I love it. I can't imagine the time that it would take to sit and chop up a bunch of grape and cherry tomatoes. So anyway, I've already done some. We've got more. Typically, a hot brown is a sandwich. It's a sandwich with bread. Instead, we're going to put all the good stuff together in a dip. So this particular dip calls for cream cheese and Greek yogurt, which I have already added to my bowl. I've got the cream cheese and the Greek yogurt. We've got some Parmesan cheese, just a 1/4 cup, or Pecorino Romano, again, kind of depending on what you have. This particular recipe called for cheddar cheese. Is a hot brown always with cheddar? I say yes. Who doesn't want cheddar? It's kind of like a bacon, lettuce, and tomato with turkey and cheese. So yes, that's a good thing. So I have a Ninja. So this particular cheddar was purchased in a wax round, and I wanted to show you the label. The recipe calls for 6 ounces of cheddar. So I am going to use the whole entire package here. I cannot even tell you where I bought this. At the store. I've been to a bunch of stores lately. It was a round of cheddar. So I have a Ninja, so it just did all the chopping for me. So I'm going to put all that cheddar right in with the tomatoes that I chopped. Now, honestly, the recipe specifically said to put like some cheese on top and all the other things. I've got my cooked turkey. I happen to have had a frozen turkey breast in the freezer. So I just put that in the crock pot yesterday. Like, how easy, right? And I shredded it with a fork. This particular recipe does call for bacon. And I don't know about you, but I would prefer to cook bacon like once, like a whole package. So what I typically do is I'll cut the package in half because half the piece of bacon is thick and half is a little bit thin. and then it still doesn't fit in my baking sheet. It doesn't fit on the pan that I have. So I line it with foil. And then what I do is I take the little pieces of bacon and I screw it into a corkscrew. They take up a lot less room and it actually gives it depth. So it cooks really nicely in the oven, 400 degrees, 10 to 15 minutes. So I had all of these cooked little half slices of bacon that I just chopped up and immediately put in. Oh, this is already just smelling so good. I am excited about this. So the thing that I'm going to do that is very, very different than what the recipe is that we just put the link for in typical hot browns, friends, I am going to add rosebuds, heat, and kick. It is so amazing. This makes it for me. This is so craveable. I love it. The herb and kick. What did I just say? Did I say heat? I'm so sorry. The herb and kick. Yes, we're going to kick it up a notch. Yes, we're going to add some heat. This is an absolutely fabulous seasoning that I did add. I'm sorry I didn't say it out loud. And that's my timer for the brownies. Let's take a look. Ooh, they look done. Hold on, friends. Hold on just a minute. Talks amongst yourselves. Oh, I just opened the oven door. Oh, it smells so good. What are you guys sipping on right now? Who's drinking some tea? Woo! I'm gonna go with a yes. Look at these brownies. Oh my gosh, I'm excited about this. Keto girl, we don't eat a lot of sweets, so this will be a really, really nice treat. So Christine asked if there's any sale I'm promoting today, and I am absolutely promoting that you shop small and women-owned businesses. So do please, if you're in the mood to buy anything at all, please do go to Rosebuds Ranch. I have it written down. rosebudsrealfood.com. Funny thing about spices. So I have this spice jar. I have a spice drawer. I don't know that you can see it. You probably can't see it at all. But I have these spices, and again, I don't have time. I don't bake a lot. So I was looking for spices and things like that, and I had allspice in my spice drawer that literally expired in the year 2013. I don't bake a lot. I cook, but you know, I have my favorites, I have my things. Friends, please do not let your spices expire. Do not eat these things that are very old. So right now I'm just grating some nutmeg while we're chit-chatting. So supporting a small business is definitely what I am promoting. I've got this whole nutmeg. Do you guys grate yours whole like this? Or do you buy it already ground? So we have got our nutmeg in with the hot brown. I love nutmeg. And I'm going to stir this up and I'm going to put it into a casserole. Again, friends, this is turkey, tomatoes, bacon, cheeses, fabulous. It's going to be a dip. Oh, I'm so excited. Now, my opinion, okay, I don't eat chips and I don't eat bread, but there's no reason not to put this great dip onto a lettuce wrap and eat it that way. I'll definitely eat it with celery. And of course, at this point, because it already has bacon in it, I think eating it with a fork would be great. But if I really wanted a dip, I would literally just put the hot dip on a piece of bacon. I'm keto after all, but I am, you know, it's real. Anyway, I've never grated my nutmeg, but great idea, and cute little grater. It is kind of cute. It's tiny. I've had it for a million years. I have no idea. This looks so good. It's ready for the casserole dish. All right, so again, the addition of the herb and kick to the hot brown is definitely the way to go. And we have still got a few more recipes for me to show you today. Just a few more. Okay, let's make a sweet tea mint julep. Let's do that. Joyce just said, love your hat. Joyce must be new with us. Hey there, Joyce. I'm doing a video of fun Kentucky Derby foods and cocktails today. And if you are new to Sub Rosa Tea, I'm going to invite you to check out some of the other videos that I've done. You can find them on our Facebook page and on our website, that I do talk more extensively about the products and the tea that we sell. So anyway, and again, we just pinned Rosebud's Real Food right on the comments there. Do check out her website. All right, so let's do that. The sweet tea mint julep. So this is our iced tea jug. Again, it makes 6 cups and it is for cold steeping. So in my mind, what tastes the most like sweet tea that we sell is oolong tea. This is our oolong tea and it's nice, bright, and amber. I cold steeped it, which means I did not use hot water. I used cold water instead. So cold water in with the oolong tea. This is a Formosa. It's the type of oolong that we sell here. It's a beautiful amber leaf. This jug, what you're looking at is it makes 6 cups. It's made out of glass and it fits in the door of your fridge. So do you see how this, the strainer, the lid on the jug acts like a strainer. So it's going to keep all the leaves down and all you're going to get is the iced tea in your cup. Now in particular, I'm going to be making a sweet tea mint julep because we're celebrating Kentucky Derby. So this recipe, I'm going to make almost 6 cups of fluid volume. So I cold steep the oolong tea in only 3 cups of water. It makes the tea more concentrated so it doesn't get diluted or watered down when I add the bourbon. And also I would say sweet tea in particular, friends, sweet tea in particular would be with sugar or simple syrup. I like it the way it is. I like it without. I don't see any reason not to. I also happen to love this jug because as you see, I just put in an entire lemon sliced. Okay, I added that. So it just increased the volume by about a cup. So we are also going to add a cup of bourbon. And again, that's 1 cup of bourbon for the entire jug here to make 6 cups of your sweet tea mint julep. It's funny, some of the photos that I found of mint juleps, they were all clear, but all the bourbon that I found at the store is brown. Anyway, it almost looks the same color as tea, doesn't it? This bourbon, it looks the same color as Ceylon tea, our breakfast blend, which is a black tea. So we're gonna pour that whole cup of bourbon right into the steeped sweet tea, which was just my oolong, and the sliced lemon. And because we are making mint juleps, and again, friends, this particular bourbon that we bought, it says Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey on the bottle, and this is my husband's favorite. He bought it. He's in charge of that. So in particular, this calls for an entire half cup of mint leaves. And if you don't have our jug, if you were making this some other way, you might need to really finely chop these mint leaves, but I don't see any need to. Everything's just going right in the jug. Everything's going in. Everything's going in the jug because, again, the lid is going to act like a strainer. So when I pour out my fabulous concoction here, once it steeps up a little bit, then it'll keep everything down for me. So no problem there. I did leave an extra little volume. I am thirsty. It's been a whole hour of chatting. So I left another little volume here. So the recipe is going to call for a cup of crushed ice. I didn't really practice any of these recipes before I went live today, but after I crushed my ice in my Ninja, I think it was Karen who said that she's got a Ninja too. Really, the crushed ice is great in the Ninja. It says it can do it. And it did, but it makes so much noise. I didn't want to do it on camera. And then I thought, well, how am I going to store the crushed ice if I put it into a vessel? It's just going to make a block of ice. So what am I going to do? So I decided that a plastic bag was great, even though it's probably not good for the video. It's not really sexy. It's not really a good bartender-like, but that's why I left so much room in, because I knew I'd be chatting for a full hour and I want this cold. Who wants warm bourbon? Not this girl. So anyway, friends, this is our sweet tea mint julep. I love it. Oh, I just cannot wait. I'm sorry, friends. I'm going to have to take a sip. You're just going to have to wait a second. A fancy glass. So again, this was 3 cups of the oolong tea, a whole cup of Kentucky bourbon. I've got a whole lemon sliced, a bunch of mint leaves, about a half cup of mint leaves. You can add sugar if you want to, but keep in mind I cold steeped, so if you use like straight regular sugar, like cane sugar, it won't just dissolve because the tea was cold. So you might want to think about hot steeping and then stirring the tea in if you're going to hot steep, or possibly just making a simple syrup. Again, that's something that you would make on the stove separately and then add. I think it's going to taste great the way it is. Oh, I can't wait. I'm taking a sip. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have the best afternoon. I have 6 cups of this. Yay. Oh, I'm so excited about that. And yes, I did not forget, we have a whole nother recipe here. This was, again, friends, our Kentucky Derby Bloomin' Bourbon cocktail. So here I have 3 cups of water in with my peach blooming tea. So I've got some room to groove here. I'm going to pour in cold steeped fuzzy Navel. And then we've got a little more bourbon to taste. So this guy here is a great cocktail. Personally, when I think cocktails, I always think building flavor. I think depth of flavor. So one of our customers had just asked, she wanted to buy something. Okay, she wanted to buy something, but she didn't want another chai. And I know this customer. I know that she likes the coconut truffle. She's like the chai, but she just wanted something new and different. So she was asking about the flavors. So like our oolong peach tea, it's like orchard fresh peaches. It's fabulous and bright, but it's pretty much the exact same notes as the blooming tea peach. So when I was thinking about making this cocktail, I wanted to layer the flavors. I wanted to build on top of each other. So that's why I chose to do the fuzzy Navel instead, which has got the peach, the mango, a more fruity notes to build depth of flavor. So she and I were also talking about the peach pie tea. Peach pie tea has cinnamon and ginger, which I think is great with bourbon, but for this cocktail, I just wasn't in the mood for spice. I wanted to build a cocktail that had depth of flavor that would be good with the brownies. I didn't want to fight with it. I wanted it to be a good match, something that was complementary. So all of the recipes today, I feel like are going to be complementary for a dinner party. Even if we're not allowed to have people over, I'm still gonna have fun, right? I still gotta eat, for pity's sakes. So I've got the fabulous appetizer, the Kentucky Derby Hot Brown as a dip. That's a great appetizer that I can make ahead of time, have it hot and bubbly when guests come over. I've got my main course of the chicken, which is just going to go on the grill for a few minutes. The recipe that we included did request that you do skewers. I'm just going to grill it. I'm not going to bother with the whole skewer thing. As long as it's marinated, that's the important thing. And then I've got 2 different teas. Now, I did add bourbon to both of these, but both, I'm telling you, will be fine if you want a virgin kitty cocktail. Instead of bourbon, you could also add club soda or ginger ale if you wanted some bubbles, especially for the kids. A mint julep is normally with bourbon, but you could add anything else. I mean, tell me, I want to know. I want to know, like, what's good in, what do you already have in your kitchen? What's a flavor profile that you would like to work with? I mean, obviously, I think rum would be a good choice, but today's Kentucky Derby, so we did bourbon instead. But of course, tea, lemon, mint, they all go so well together. So have fun, have fun. I gotta take a sip of this. I'm excited about it. Next glass. Again, this is our Kentucky Derby Bloomin' Bourbon cocktail with peach notes. Oh, again, oh, so smooth. I added the right amount of bourbon. I don't always get that right. So I'm excited. Again, that was just a pinch, really. What was that, a tablespoon or so? I didn't add too much. But this glass teapot does make 4 cups. It makes 4 cups total. So if you are doing your own recipe and your own mixologist during the quarantine, making some quarantinis and having fun, just kind of play with those notes a little bit. And friends, oh, I think I have to put a mid on. Hold on a second. I wanted to show you the brownies one more time here. This did come right out of the oven. So those of you may have heard me say it before. You know what those tea balls are good for? Who's got a tea ball in their kitchen? Friends, I am going to put some powdered sugar into that tea ball, and I'm going to sprinkle the powdered sugar over my brownies as soon as they are nice and cool, because that is exactly what a tea ball is good for. I would not put tea into one of those tea balls. They have a hinge, they have big holes. It's not good for tea. We sell much, much better tea accessories than that over on our website. And also, like I said, you guys saw it here, the stackable teapot with the fine mesh infuser, the infuser basket. This would be my ideal for tea. Definitely not a tea ball. So unless anyone has any questions, I am going to get to snacking and eating and drinking the rest of my afternoon. I'm sorry I made a whole mess in my kitchen, but I appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. If you didn't hear me say, I will be back live in the kitchen for Cinco de Mayo on Tuesday. And then I'm also going to do a very special Mother's Day tea party next Saturday morning on May 9th. If you're on the West Coast, that's a different time for you, but I will be here. I'm in Ohio, so I'm Eastern Standard Time at 10 a.m. next Saturday on Mother's Day. So once again, friends, thank you for coming. All of the tea that I talked about in tea accessories can be purchased at subrosatea.com. And the fabulous food items that I use, the spices, the cinnamon, the herb and kick, the sassy salt, all those great things can be found at rosebudsrealfood.com. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. No matter what you do with the rest of your day, have yourself a quarantini and take care of you. Bye-bye, friends.